I'm Carl, and I recommend Lexie hearing aids. I've had a hearing loss for quite some time. Approximately 10 years ago, I started noticing that I was having trouble hearing women's voices. And so I would have to move closer to them to hear what they had to say. I had hearing tests a number of times, but I didn't get hearing aids for at least 2 years after I noticed that. Then I decided to get hearing aids so I could hear high voices. I wore hearing aids before I got my Lexie hearing aids for approximately 5 years. The previous pair of hearing aids I had were very expensive. The Lexie hearing aids were much less expensive, and frankly, I find the Lexie hearing aids to be much better than those expensive ones. When I received my Lexie hearing aids, I opened the package and I downloaded the app, and it had complete directions on how to set the hearing aids up. I put the battery in, I tried them out. I also, before I actually put the battery in, I went on the application and went through all the steps of the application, which was extremely easy to follow. I had no trouble doing that. The setup process took me a very short time. I had to hear a number of sounds and react to those sounds, and I found it very easy to do. The directions were clear. I did not need to call Lexie. I simply got it set up and everything worked. To set up the hearing aids, you do not need to be technically advanced. What you do need is to be able to follow the directions. The directions are clear, concise, and they're just very easy to follow. When I received my hearing aids through the mail, I downloaded the app, and then I went through the test. I found it unbelievably easy. The remarkable thing is that the hearing result that I got online from Lexie was approximately the same that I paid an audiologist a lot of money for. The Lexie hearing aid comes complete. I can change the length of the tube that goes into my ear. Frankly, the Lexie hearing aids that I got, the tube worked fine. The batteries came with it. I easily installed those batteries. It's very simple. Close the door, put them on, and after the check that I had made online and the hearing aids were adjusted, I put them in and they worked perfectly. Setting up the hearing aids on your own is a very easy process. In fact, it took less time than it took me to go to an audiologist and have them set them up. The Lexie hearing aids are easy to wear. I have no problem putting them on. They stay on my ear. I tuck the main part of the hearing aid behind my ear and then push the device into my ear. And if I push it in all the way, I never have a problem in wind or whatever. I can put on a mask, and if I put it on correctly, I can take it off and put it on without having my hearing aids come out. I am not self-conscious when I wear Lexie hearing aids. As you might be able to see from this video, I have a little gray spot back there. Blends into my hair, frankly, but I'm not conscious of it, and it's not a problem. And it's hidden behind my ear, and the tube is clear, so it's really can't be seen, and the tube goes in my ear, so it can't be seen. You have to come up to my ear closely to see that I'm wearing hearing aids, so it's not a problem for me. The advantage of the Lexie hearing aids over my previous hearing aids is the fact that I can make adjustments on the hearing aid on my ear. All I need to do is to take my finger and put it on the hearing aid, and I know that I can change the setting. For example, if I'm in an auditorium, I can change it, or I can change the volume. And I have, I believe, 3 volumes that I can do until it comes to maximum. So I really like that possibility on the Lexie hearing aids. The features that I use on the Lexie hearing aid primarily are the volume controls. And if I'm talking to a person who's speaking very softly, I will turn up the volume. And it's simply reach my hand up to my ear and just click it. And I don't have to mention anything, it just happens. Or if I go in an auditorium and I want to change the setting on the hearing aid, I can do that too. When I downloaded the Lexie app, there were a number of features that I enjoyed. One of them was just looking at the hearing aids and see how they were set. I'm curious, so I looked at the serial number and all of those types of things. But I also have looked at the rewards program. The rewards program gives you points for wearing the hearing aids and having them on. It also gives you points for answering questions, and I have answered a number of questions. A third thing that I did on the Lexie app was to actually order batteries. I have received them. I found them to be very good batteries. They last a long time, and they're inexpensive compared to where they are at a regular store. I've talked 2 or 3 times to a Lexie expert. They called me on the phone. I've talked to them through text. I haven't needed anything because everything works perfectly, but they were very attentive. I have not needed adjustment on my Lexie hearing aids. If I had needed it, I'm sure I could have called or talked to one of the experts, but they've worked perfectly from the very beginning. I would rate Lexie customer care very high. On a 1 to 10 scale, I would rate Lexie as a 10. My wife has noticed the difference because I wear Lexie hearing aids. I can turn up the volume and I can hear what she has to say. She doesn't have to repeat it. That is the biggest difference with wearing hearing aids that really work. Wearing Lexie hearing aids has certainly improved the quality of my life. When I'm at a dinner party and I turn up the volume, I can hear all of the conversations. If you can't hear what everybody's saying, you've got a real problem at a dinner party. Having Lexie hearing aids, being able to turn up the volume and hear everybody, really improves my quality of discussions and my ability to pay attention to what's going on at the dinner. The Lexie hearing aids are excellent. They exceeded the quality of the hearing aids that I paid a lot more money for. They're easy to set up, and they really are a no surprise hearing aid. They work perfectly, and if you want to hear better, you simply turn up the volume. It's easy to do. Lexie hearing aids can change your life. For me, when I could not hear conversations, to then put in hearing aids, it was a whole new world. I could hear all the things going on. I could hear my footsteps on the stairway. I could hear crackling. These are the kinds of things that you can hear if you put in hearing aids that are tuned correctly and you are serious about them. To hear better means everything. I can participate in conversations. I don't withdraw if I can't hear things, which if you don't have the hearing aids in, you have a tendency to do that. They change your life. And so I would recommend hearing aids, the test, and then you can hear voices that you want to hear. I have thoroughly enjoyed my Lexie hearing aids. I have recommended these to my family and friends because the cost of Lexie hearing aids is so much less than what I experienced as what I would call the traditional hearing aids. I would strongly recommend to my family and friends that they get Lexie hearing aids, and again, primarily because of the cost.